Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So I'm gonna do a live really quick, talk about some heavyweight topics. But y'all gonna have to excuse me, man, because I'm loading up my dishwasher, so it's gonna be some real life added with this. I gotta get this done, man. But wait for y'all to show up. Make some time for the listeners, man. J Jerk was good, bro. You gonna hear some dishes clanging in the background, man. I gotta fill up my damn dishwasher, man. So filling up the dishwasher while I do this. So let me go ahead and attack these topics, man. Uh, first, I'm gonna go over. I did hear Wilder come out and say that he believes that him and Ruiz is a bigger fight than him and Anthony Joshua. Just want to get my opinion about that. Also want to talk about. I seen that Anthony Joshua selecting his sparring partners. Shout out to my man Timothy Moten. He actually comes to some of the lives. You guys probably seen Timothy in the live. Have you guys probably seen Timothy in the live? So shout out to Timothy Mayhem Moten. And I kind of noticed this before the articles came out, and I seen he did a interview with the Boxing Voice. Um, but cause I follow him on Instagram as well, and I seen he took a picture, and I was like, damn, that gym looks familiar. Then I was looking at the walls, I was like, that looks like Anthony Joshua's gym. So I actually left him a message on Instagram probably like 2 days before the news came out that he was that would be helping Anthony Joshua. So hopefully Timothy shows up, man, because he usually shows up to these sometimes. But so let's just go right into that then. Anthony Joshua and his sparring partner selection. So they're going with guys that are, as I'm reading, chubby, shorter guys that kind of duplicate what Andy Ruiz is able to do. All right, so I guess he's acquiring a lot of those guys. So Timothy Moten, it's good that he's getting that experience. He's getting that, being able to be out there in the UK and not only get some sparring with Anthony Joshua, but I'm sure with everybody else is going to be in that camp. All right. So it's good for Moten. Then I seen Dimitri Salita came out and said that he would like his guy. That article was actually put out today that he would like his guy Jermaine Franklin to get out there and be sparring partners with Joshua. Now, according to the article, Salita said that Joshua and his camp had offered Franklin a sparring position when they were preparing for Povetkin, but Franklin had a fight coming up himself, or it was just some type of schedule issue where he couldn't make it out there. All right, so it's not like Franklin's just throwing his name out there just to get an opportunity with Joshua to spar when to be in his camp, which I don't think would be a bad thing. But his name has been brought up before, and they did want his services before. All right, so I think two good selections. Franklin is a guy I've been following since the amateurs. He kind of, even though he's a shorter, come forward type of guy, he does use. He is patient behind his jab, and he will try to box with you a little bit. And I think he gets kind of docked for that by some fans. So they want him to be more aggressive, but he will go out there and throw some combinations. Has pretty quick hands, pretty patient, likes to outbox a little bit, and he's patient on the outside. So I think that's a good guy to have in there. One thing I will say about, and then also I put this video out last week that Joshua said that he will be getting a session in with Derek Chisora. All right, so I like his selection of sparring partners. I will say that. See y'all falling up in here. My man Stormy B man was good. Right Hook Boxing, what's up? The Perfection was good. Ricky Williams, what it do, bro? So I do like his selection of sparring partners. One thing I will say, and you guys heard me say this for years here on YouTube. No matter, in my opinion, no matter who your opponent is, just don't have all the guys that replicate that opponent. Why do you say that, Mr. Boxing? Because you should be ready for any and everything on fight night. There might be a replacement opponent. He may come in there and try to outbox you, even though he's a come forward guy. He may switch it up on you. You never know. Even though he might have tendencies that you've seen in 20 or 30 some odd fights, he may come in there and fight different against you, whether it be a rematch, the third fight, or your first fight. I used to like the way Manuel Stewart would set up the Klitschko camps, where he would have a plethora of guys in there. Some guys that were high level amateurs, some guys were up and coming contenders, prospect level. A guy could be 6'8", 6'2", 5'11". He threw them all in there against Klitschko. And you guys know how Klitschko was in his camps. I've seen pictures of him taking pictures of the guys in his camp at one time, and I've seen guys like Malik Scott, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, David Price, Deontay Wilder, Philippe Herkovic. I've seen some of who's who in his camps, man. You know what I mean? Alexander Ustinov, or not Ustinov, but yeah, I think Ustinov as well, but Usyk. I've seen some of who's who in Vladimir Klitschko camps, and it didn't matter who he was fighting. He just Gerald Washington was another guy's been in his camp, so he would just invite guys. Michael Hunter's another guy that been in like 8 or 9 Klitschko camps. Jarrell Miller. You know what I mean? Didn't matter who he was fighting, he would always bring in the services of just hungry guys that just want to get in there and fight. You know what I mean? And prove themselves. And it's different type of sparring when you're in there with somebody trying to prove themselves against you. All right. But again, from the technical aspect, I get why he's trying to get that look to resemble guys that kind of give him the look, or that will give him the looks that Ruiz will give him. Some other guys that I think that would also help his camp if he's looking for that type of try to resemble Ruiz. I would throw some names in there like Trey Lippe Morrison, because he likes to throw left hooks. Good, he can throw good from close quarters. Not exactly Andy Ruiz, but I think that'd be a good look. He's undefeated. He's hungry. And he has a good left hook. Andre Fedosov is another guy. Come forward, throws in combination. I think that'd be a good look. Even Darmani Rock, very quick hands. Think a big guy, very quick hands, good combination puncher. And Ajay Kabayel, who's been in quite a few Joshua camps. I think bringing him back would be good as well. All right, but we'll see if all this works for AJ, man. Then I seen a picture of Andy Ruiz, and he looks a lot slimmer. Shout out to my man 78 Sports TV. He actually had. Well, I seen the photo online, but then I watched 78's video, and I seen the side by side again, the side by side picture of Ruiz when he won the title versus what he looks like now. He looks a lot slimmer in the face, a lot slimmer in the waist. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see how this fight plays out. I cannot wait for this fight, man. I cannot wait for it. Also, I seen Marco Huck and Joe Joyce. Purse bid is done. Purse bid is done. You know what I mean? So Marco Huck and his team, they won the purse bid. This fight should be taking place, from what I'm reading, in Germany before year's end. All right, so the former cruiserweight title holder, I think Huck made like, how many defenses did he make of that WBO title? I think like 13 or 14 before he ended up losing to Krzysztof Glowacki. That was an entertaining fight. But Huck, he lost the fight to Usyk, was that two years ago? Hey, he gave Povetkin all Povetkin could handle. Some years ago, you could have argued that Huck won that fight, man. You know what I mean? But he gave him all he can handle. And actually, hey, what's up? And I actually like the fact that Huck had a fight with, like I said, with Usyk 2 years ago. Then he had some couple journeyman. He had 2 journeyman level fights since that loss. You know what I mean? But Joyce and his team should be confident in this fight. I'm picking Joyce to overwhelm Huck, man. I think Huck is long in the tooth. Although Joyce isn't some 22-year-old prospect or anything like that, he's past 30. I think he's like 33 or something like that. Even though he's slow as molasses, he is very durable and he's very strong. And I just see him eventually walking Huck down and getting him out of there. You know what I mean? Just overwhelming him. Now, Huck does have the hand speed advantage, even though being an older guy moving up from cruiserweight, I still think he's faster than Joyce. And he throws straight punches well, and Joyce is there to be hit. He's a big, tall, durable, strong target. You know what I mean? But I just think it's gonna come down to a battle of attrition. Maybe Huck can force the type of pace of fight that Joyce doesn't want to fight. But then we're putting a lot of pressure on an older cruiserweight moving up to fight, and keep up this high pace pressure. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna pick Joyce in that one, and they're fighting for that vacant EBU title that Caballero vacated. You know what I mean? And last thing, let me see what y'all talking about real quick. Actually, I'm gonna go over this, and then I'm gonna come back to y'all. I see Scrapbooks in the building. Salute Scrapbook Boxing. Y'all go sub to my man Scrapbook. Now Wilder did come out and say that he believes that he and Ruiz is a bigger fight than Anthony Joshua. All right. This is how I feel about that. If AJ is able to beat Andy Ruiz, and a lot of fans believe that. I don't know how people are seeing it like this, but they think like that's going to all of a sudden just wipe away him getting destroyed June 1st against Andy Ruiz. No, it just means that he got his get back. You know what I mean? But it's not going to take any of that away. It will be a good look. It will be a good look for Anthony Joshua to, you know what I mean? If he were able to win that fight, man, I'm gonna do that when I'm done. Okay. It'd be a good look for him to win that fight. And I think that will put some luster back into a Wilder Anthony Joshua fight. But one thing I can say is this: if Joshua was to beat Ruiz, look, man, there's nothing more to get the internet revved up, going back and forth, talking crazy to each other than Anthony Joshua, Anthony Joshua and Wilder. That topic will always bring a crowd. You know what I mean? So their fight is going to bring a huge crowd. Now, to counter that, here in America, I'm not talking about in Japan. I'm not talking about in the UK. I'm not talking about in Russia. I'm not talking about in Australia. I'm talking about here. African American versus Mexican will always sell. Go have a conversation with Don King. You know what I mean? It will always sell, especially if it's for undisputed. If the WBO doesn't start tripping to make Ruiz vacate if he beats Joshua in his rematch, which I think he will, that's going to be huge, especially for undisputed at heavyweight. Mexican fans are going to get behind Andy Ruiz, and African American fans are going to get behind Wilder, and then the interest of the public is going to get behind the fight in general. All right, but I get where Wilder's coming from, and whenever you have, again, African American versus Mexican, it's going to sell. And this is unique because it's at heavyweight and it's for undisputed. So I get that, but it's just something about Wilder AJ, man. It's just the friction is going to be there until they fight. Until they fight, the friction will be there. And if AJ is able to beat Ruiz, I still think AJ versus Wilder is the bigger fight. But that doesn't mean that Wilder versus Ruiz isn't big as well. All right. But I think that rivalry between the USA and the UK about Joshua and Wilder right now is just, to me, it eclipses Wilder versus Ruiz. Now, will Wilder and Ruiz do great numbers? Of course they will. I'll probably go to the fight. Will it do great numbers? Yeah. Will it get a huge following? Will ESPN and every network pick it up and talk about it? Of course. But it's still something about that AJ versus Wilder rivalry, man, that's still hot, even though that AJ lost the fight to Ruiz in June. All right. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Big Boys Boxing was good. Gregory Wyatt was good. Let me see here. Tony Boswell says, if you think AJ not think about them for a knockdown, you're crazy. He better run from Ruiz. Ancestral Rage was good, man. Donkey Muscle says, James the Beast Wilson got fast hands, might be a good sparring partner for AJ. Yeah, I think that's a good choice as well. He's a muscular built guy, kind of built like a tank. I think that'd be a good sparring as well. Mr. Bogus says, Vladimir Klitschko used to bring the whole division to his camp. Yes, he did, man. Emmanuel Stewart used to be like, look, we bringing everybody in here. Amateurs, contenders, prospects, we bringing them all up in here. And I think that's great sparring. Even if you're trying to just have guys that replicate the guy you're fighting, still bring some other guys in there, man, just to mix it up so you can have that. So there'll be that. So you can eliminate that. What I'm trying to say, so you'll eliminate that surprise angle element. You know what I mean? So there'll be no element of surprise on fight night. Why? Because you're ready for it. You already train yourself to be ready for it. But hey, y'all, I told y'all when I started, man, Jose Antonio Delgado was good. I told y'all when I started, I was cleaning up my kitchen, man. So my wife's trying to cook here, man. So I'm gonna help her get this kitchen cleaned up so we can make dinner for these kids, man. But until then, Hunter versus Povetkin is official. My thoughts, Count Drago. I'm gonna do a video on that, and I also wanted to do a video on a comment that somebody made today talking about a fantasy matchup between Wilder and Jack Dempsey. So my next video will be about Hunter and Povetkin, and I'll also talk about Wilder and Jack Dempsey hypothetical matchup because it was brought up. I'll read the comment, I'll say the commenter's name, and then I'll chop it up about it. But until then, man, y'all be good. I'm gone.